We are 2 years old. I'm 5.
I'm 5. We always find a way to bring in Baghdad. That's so funny.
We just started, guys.
Welcome back, everybody, to Control Your Show for your 3 favorite book besties. And I'm Lauren.
I'm Carlos.
And I'm Rose.
Today we are going to be doing something similar to how we did last year with the 2024 hopefuls. We will be doing 2025 hopefuls, and should we just not talk about what happened last year? Because I feel like I did not hit a lot of my...
I don't think I hit any of my goals. I didn't rewatch the video, but I don't think I hit literally anything.
It's fun to talk about failures, guys. Normalize failing.
I'm pretty sure, let me put on my clown makeup, because I was like, this is my year for manga, and did not read one.
You didn't read any?
No.
Whoa, I'm shocked.
Not fucking one. And I literally was like, this is my manga year. No, it wasn't. Sure was not. Maybe this year. I do have that as kind of like, I wouldn't even say like a full-on goal, but like a side quest is going to be like a little manga journey for me.
I think I did say I wanted to catch up on some manga series. I also didn't read like any manga.
I met some of my goals, guys. Listen.
Oh, okay.
But I have a very pressing question for you. I've been thinking about it all year.
What?
Did you read your goddamn Buffalo book?
guys.
Yo, I forgot about that. Not the history of the buffalo. What was it called? History of buffaloes?
It's like the blood memory, the history of the buffaloes in America. And
how was it?
You want to know where that book is? It is under my camera right now, holding it up. Okay. And I knew you were going to mention it, but I didn't think it was this soon, because I've got a book in my anticipated reads that is not that book, but it is about buffalo.
2025, another year of the buffalo. I swear.
You know what? I'm going to read my buffalo book, Blood Memory. I'm going to read it this year because I have a very, very ambitious nonfiction reading goal this year.
Wasn't your nonfiction reading goal last year like 2 books?
No.
I think mine was 2.
Mine was 5.
And how did we do?
I read 2.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I did. I read 2. Mm-hmm.
Carlos, is this going to be the same year as last year where you're just going to read like bigger books, or are you going to try and like...
Interesting. I don't know. I feel like I can't comment on that because I honestly have no idea what I'm going to read this year.
So diplomatic. I can't comment on that.
I definitely know I'm going to read a lot of Brandon Sanderson, so it's probably going to be a lot of big books. And honestly, I feel like a lot of the fantasy books I read are pretty big anyway.
Yeah.
So it probably will be a lot of big books.
Okay.
Unless the books we do for the podcast, you know.
True.
Usually those aren't too long.
I actually started my first big book of this year.
What is it?
Empire of the Vampire.
Oh, isn't it so good? I just love the way it's written. It's like 700 pages.
Yeah, it's long, but I'm already a quarter of the way through. It's so good. I'm like flying through it.
Let's go.
But yeah, Rose, what's like your first goal for this year, 2025?
I guess we can start with my basic goal, like how many books do I want to read?
Okay.
So last year I set it at 60 and I read 67. So this year I'm like, I'm just going to put it at 50 so that if I exceed it, then I'm like, oh my gosh, look how many more books I read. And I feel more proud of myself. So I actually lowered my
That's a good idea.
My number.
I made mine higher. I had mine at 70, I think, and I read, or did I? Yeah, I think I had it at 70 or 60, and now I put mine up to 80, I believe, for this year.
Wow.
But guys, that's because this is my year of manga, so I had to raise it because I know the manga is shorter, you know, so yeah.
Okay, she's gonna read manga, guys.
Last year I think I had mine at 50 and I read 22. So this year I lowered it down to 20. And
Okay,
hopefully
that's fine.
but like
Valid.
mentally I want to do like maybe 30, 35, but like I'm setting it at 20.
Yeah, but you read such huge books though.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you probably read more pages than us.
My one nonfiction book that I'm gonna read, because right now I'm going through my obsession with Australia Zoo and the Irwins, is specifically Robert. I will be reading My Steve by Terry Irwin.
Aww.
Okay.
And it is signed by her as well.
Wow.
Ryan got it for me for Christmas because obviously with my signed copy collection and my current addiction with the Irwin family, it was the perfect gift. So
That's beautiful.
I also want it to be known that I did try and get Robert Irwin as a guest on the podcast.
Please.
His team politely responded and said he is currently trying to, be a wildlife warrior and he's a little busy for your podcast. And I was like,
sorry, girl, he does not have time to read your silly books, okay?
Oh, okay. So this is actually one that I had last year that I'm gonna pass it on over to this year because I didn't complete it, and that's to finish the Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson. Because last year I had to read 4 books in the series to finish all 5, and I read 2 of them, so I have to read the final 2, the 4th and the 5th one, which are both over 1,200 pages long. So, but it's the end of an era, so I want to like finish it, be done with it, and then move on to like a different series by him.
Yeah, I feel like that's very doable for you.
Yeah, I think I could do it. Hopefully in the first half of the year.
Good goal, good goal.
Okay, do you guys want to hear my ambitious nonfiction goal?
I'm a little nervous, but yeah.
So, in 2023, my goal was to read 3 nonfictions. I did it, okay? I did it. Last year, my goal was to read 5. I only read 2. Well, this year, my goal is to read 1 nonfiction a month. So I will, and I'm manifesting it right now, I will be reading 12 nonfiction books, and one of them will be the Buffalo book. I'm just saying.
Right. Okay.
Guys,
I believe.
thank you.
It's gonna be like October and Rose has read like 2 and she's gonna be like, I can only read nonfiction. Rose is like, what if we read the Buffalo book together?
Guys, it's like a study club.
No.
No. Thank you.
Well, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna achieve this goal.
Okay.
I have kind of like a crazy one.
I'm scared.
Okay.
So, obviously, I was introduced this past year to Done and Dusted by Lila Sage and just kind of like the whole Rebel Blue Ranch world, okay?
Mhm.
And in my heart of hearts, I was like, am I a cowgirl? Howdy, y'all. Let's round up.
She's from the Midwest, guys.
Let's round up. Is that what you said? Please.
Let's lasso this 2025 goal, am I right? So I'm going to be reading The Last Stand of Mary Goodcrow. This was Carlos, you had gotten this.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the book.
It's a Western fantasy. So obviously I've been in my Western era, but this is going to kind of bridge my gap between my love of fantasy and I guess my new love of Westerns. Not to say that Rebel Blue is like full on Western, but it's obviously about cowboys. So I'm just really in that mindset, okay? But I was like, should that be kind of my stepping stone into reading like maybe like we'll start with like one classic Western. Like we're talking like John Wayne.
John Wayne. Wait, who's John Wayne?
John Wayne is like a famous cowboy.
All I can think of is John Wayne Gacy, the serial killer.
What if there was like a John Wayne Gacy Western horror novel?
I'd probably read it.
But I don't think it would be a Western.
If you put a cowboy hat on him
Not the cowboy clown. I'm scared.
and he like lassos his victims, please.
Oh
Stop.
gosh. No one write this, please. Nobody write this.
Nails a horseshoe to their head. I don't know.
You know what? That's a good kill, though.
I'm claiming 2025 as my hey y'all Western era. So
You guys have some crazy goals. I feel like mine are so basic.
do you have like a specific book that you're like super anticipating to read this year?
Yes, actually. RF Kwong is coming out with her new book this year.
That's on my list.
Yeah, it's called Catabasis. I think it's about these two they're like rivals in school, you know, she always does school settings, and their professor is like in hell or something, and they have to descend down to hell to get him so that he can write recommendation letters for them.
We're gonna save you, but only because we really need your rec
Yeah,
letters.
no, literally. And I don't know if it's like an enemies to lovers, but I know they start off as enemies. So I don't know. We'll see. But I mean, it's
Okay, a
RF
little
Kwong,
romance.
so I'll read anything she writes. So
Okay.
that's one of the ones that I'm most excited for.
I don't have a specific book for this goal, but I do have a goal to read a book over 900 pages. That's my goal this year, is to read one book
Wait, do you have one
over
in mind?
900 pages. No, I don't. But
Priory?
I do have a hold on Libby for Priory of the Orange Tree. I mean, it could be the next Spark of the Everflame book. I don't know. I was reading it. Sorry, Carlos.
Oh, is that over 900?
Yeah, the third book is.
The hell?
That's my big goal that I really, if I don't accomplish the nonfiction goal, I hope I accomplish this goal.
I mean,
Mhm.
12 books versus one 900-page book.
You've read some big books. Like
I have.
I think you'll be fine. I think you can do it.
And I'm just curious because now we're halfway through January. Have you read a
Mhm.
nonfiction book this month?
Not yet, but I have an audiobook on Libby that is
Okay.
nonfiction that is available that I will be listening to.
Okay.
So it's in the works, guys. It's in the works.
What about you, Lauren?
Yeah. So The Stars Are Dying. This has been sitting on my shelf for a bit. So I'm like, this is another year where I'm really going to try and read more books that I own. I feel like I did really good last year. I read a decent amount that I actually like have. So
That's
I'm gonna-
good.
yeah, we're gonna keep rolling with that. We're gonna keep going. And yeah, we got this guy, little fantasy number. So
Yeah, once you're done with the Cowboys,
yeah.
then you're going to move on to that.
I think I'm gonna steal your goal of reading more books that I own, because I don't know. I don't think I've read this past year. I don't think I read any book that I had already owned.
What?
Maybe the Brandon Sanderson ones, but that's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been getting a lot of special editions over the past last year, and I feel like I really need to read them. Like, I don't know if you can see this stack right here. It's literally
It's
all just
tall.
special
Oh my
editions.
gosh.
Is that all on a cart?
Yeah, so it's like the cart and then like all the special editions that I've gotten this
the
year.
place where the cart ends. The books continue.
Yeah, I've just been
That's
stacking
wild.
them on there. Yeah, because I've been getting book boxes and stuff. So
And I like how your dragon is kind of tilted looking at you like, bitch, when are you gonna start this?
like, really, bitch. So yeah, that's gonna be my goal, to read more of the special editions that I've gotten.
Beautiful. I have a similar goal, which is also to read more of the books that I own, but I did put a percentage on it.
Okay.
Okay.
So I would like, this is also very ambitious. Guys, this is the year, okay? This is the year.
2025 is your year.
Yes, it's the year for reading. I want to read, out of all the books that I read this year, I want 70% of them to be books that I own. So if I read 50 books, that's 35. So I'm like, I
Okay.
feel like I can do it because this month I've already read 2 books that I own. So I'm like,
Okay.
okay, I just have to be very intentional about it.
70%. That's not bad.
Thank you.
This is kind of like a vague goal, but I feel like last year I was really hard on myself with like trying to read specific books at a specific time. And this year I kind of want to be like kinder to myself about what I want to read in the moment. So like, to be vague, like mood reading, right? Like
Mhm.
I want
Yeah.
more okay with being a mood reader versus like scheduling reads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause I find myself less like, I don't know.
Excited to read when they're
Yeah.
scheduled. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure. Cause then it almost feels like homework. And then I just
Yeah.
like in my head, I'm like, ugh, I hated school for a reason. Like, gross. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And so I find myself like not being excited to read as much when it's so scheduled. Um, but then I always love the books that I just kind of like happen to come across that I'm interested in that moment. So yeah, allowing myself to be more of a mood reader is my 2025, not even hopeful, because like I'm actually gonna do this. So this is just
Yeah.
like you said, Rose, an intention.
That was beautiful. As a mood reader, I support you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I always try to schedule books and it never works out. Like I never end up reading them.
Yeah. I actually had to stop reading the sequel to uh Silver Flame Silver
I know which
Flame
one you're talking about, but I don't know the title.
Song of Silver Flame Like Night.
Okay, you were close. You were close.
So I actually had to stop reading that book, the second book, because I had just come off of like a romance Christmas binge, and like just such a switch up was very jarring to my brain. And
Mhm.
so I was like, no. I know that if I would have like forced myself to finish the book, I would have rated it
Lower than what you would've.
yeah,
Mhm.
because it's a good book. I just wasn't feeling it because my brain was like still in like romance world. So
Valid.
Okay. I also have another goal. It's something that I actually started last year, which is to read more comics. I don't remember if it was a goal last year, but I really started getting into like X-Men and
Mhm.
Moon Knight became my favorite superhero last year. So I started picking up their comics and I actually had a lot of fun reading them, but towards like the end of the year I kind of just stopped. But I do want to get more into X-Men and I want to read them like in order
Mhm.
that they were published and
Ooh.
kind of like yeah. So I started with like the old ones and I'm getting there, but sometimes they're kind of hard to find because they're like out of print or
Have you gone to some of the shops here?
I haven't, but I really want to.
We have there's, like, a lot of
Yeah.
comic book shops, but the thing is that they keep their comics in, like, bins, so you have to, like,
Mm,
search through all of them. They are mostly alphabetical order, but
they have the single issues,
yeah, the
right?
single issues.
Yeah, I've been buying them in like
the compendiums or whatever.
well, I have this Moon Knight one. That's like
Oh. Oh, it's
Uh
beautiful.
yeah, this is without the dust cover, but
I love how it looks.
yeah, it's like a huge omnibus that I've been reading. So that's how I've been
mm.
buying them. But yeah, sometimes they go out of print. They're hard to find. But yeah, I do want to read more, especially X Men. I really like the X Men.
And I feel like that'll help too with like the amount of books that you want to read because
Yeah,
like comics are obviously shorter. So
right. Yeah, and the stories are really interesting. They actually like get really good and like in depth.
Last year, I had a goal of finish series that I had already started. Guys, the only series I finished last year was Demon Slayer, that's it. I didn't finish any other series.
I think I also had that goal. I also didn't. Oh, I finished um Steelheart by Brandon Sanderson, that
Okay.
Mm,
trilogy. So
okay.
I did that one. I think that's the only one that I finished though.
Yeah, I'm not making that another goal.
That's a good. I feel like I should make that my goal again.
You should,
Yeah.
because you'll accomplish it with Stormlight Archives.
Yeah, and that'll also help me because I already own them, so it'll help me with that goal too.
I feel like I will also hop on that goal just because I feel like I did a decent job with that last year. Like I finished the entire Ice Planet Barbarian series, and that's like 20 books or something insane like
Mhm.
that, 19 books. And I did that. So if I could do that, I can do anything.
She can accomplish anything. Wow.
And then, oh, and last year I also finished the Rebel Blue Ranch series as well.
Wow. She's a series finisher.
It's because I get in such, like I was saying, a mood where I'm like stuck in that world and it's hard for me to transition out of it sometimes. So I'm just like,
Mm,
well, since I'm in this mood, let me just finish the rest of the stuff so I can move on. It almost feels like
yeah.
unfinished business to me to just like leave
Mm,
myself hanging if the books are already out. You know what I mean?
It's like binge watching a TV show.
Yes, yes.
true,
Binge
true.
culture has ruined my brain. It's just mashed potatoes up here now.
Oh gosh, with butter.
Oh, always. And bacon. A little bit of cheese.
So let's rewind to where I said that my goal this year was to read at least 70% of all my books to be books that I own. Well, all my anticipated reads are books that are new releases. But guys,
Okay.
it's only 7. If I'm
Uh-huh.
going to read 50 books, 35 are going to be the ones that I own, and then 15 are going to be ones that I don't own. So it's okay. I haven't met my max yet.
But now you've already accounted for 7 books.
Well, then
don't
I just
own.
have to read more than 50 books, guys. See, this is encouraging me
To
to
read more.
beat my goal. Exactly. See?
Okay.
We can start with my Buffalo book that I'm excited about. Not Blood Memory. This one is a
Oh.
fiction. The Buffalo Hunter by Stephen Graham Jones.
Oh,
Guys,
wait, Stephen Graham Jones, doesn't he write horror?
yes.
Oh,
And
okay.
I found out, I had no idea. I found out that he was a professor at Texas Tech at some point in time. I went to Texas Tech. So I have to read this book.
Was he also a Buffalo Hunter?
He could be. I don't know. I know nothing about this book, but I'm really excited. And that's my actually that's not my number one most anticipated. I think Catabasis is, but Carlos already talked about it.
Okay. All right.
So I already mentioned the two Stormlight Archive, Rhythm of War and Win and Truth are the last two that I need to read. I
Mhm.
also mentioned Catabasis, but I have
Mhm.
one from so there's this author that's very popular in fantasy, Joe Abercrombie.
Oh, uh-huh.
Oh,
Yeah,
uh-huh.
so he's coming out with a new book this year called The Devils, and I've never read any of his books, but I think I'm gonna start with this one. And then if I like it, I'll go and read his backlist. I don't know what it's about, and I kind of don't want to know. I kind of want to go in blind, but it's called The Devils, and it looks. I like the cover. It looks kind of scary.
Ooh, I do like the cover. I love a black and red cover.
So it's in on Goodreads. It's listed as a fantasy horror. So I don't know. It looks interesting, and I heard he writes like very dark, gritty fantasy. So I'm excited for it.
Okay, should I read that book? You
Maybe
sold me.
we
We
can
know nothing about it,
we,
but I'm sold.
we could read it together.
She hears horror and she's just like, latch.
Yeah, I'm like, oh.
Love that. I also think I want to read more horror this year. I feel like last year I fell off slightly with my horror journey, but I think I'm ready to hop back on.
We should do another horror book for the podcast this year.
We should.
Okay,
Yeah.
we must.
But when it comes to
I think I know where this is going.
I don't know where it's going.
I think I know what you think I'm going to say, Carlos.
Okay.
And yes, I'm very excited for Pounded by Produce, but
Oh, period. Me too.
no. So, just kind of on that same level of just pure insanity. I just have so much fun reading insane romance books. Like they're short, they're campy. I find myself just loving them so much. So, first on my anticipated reads is Gotten by the Gator.
Gotten by the Gator.
It's giving sort of like a Tinder, like she met this gator man on Tinder, at least judging by the cover, because it's on a phone.
Not the Gator man is looking at her picture.
Yeah, and she's like curvy, voluptuous, like, okay. So, and she's got a little cowboy hat on. I assume this is in the South. So this is almost like a little bit of my Western. We'll see. We'll see.
You know what? Maybe I'll read this too.
Please.
It
Right?
has good ratings too.
I'm saying. It looks good. And yeah, it kind of reminds me of like some Robert Irwin fan fiction, but make it fantasy where he like turns into a gator instead of wrangles them.
So this is the truth of
What?
why she wants to read it.
Yeah.
And this is why he's not coming on the podcast.
I would make him uncomfortable.
Yes.
So yeah, we're just gonna keep going on the crazy train. Like, I know I'm the conductor. I know Rose is right on the train with me.
I'm here, yeah.
Yeah, she's my co-pilot. So we're here. We're ready.
Okay.
I'm excited.
How do we segue into something
I
else?
know. How do we segue? My next one, I don't have any silly, goofy ones. Mine are kind of serious. Maybe.
That's okay.
Okay. Riley Sager obviously comes out with a new book every year. So, of course, I'm excited about the new one, With a Vengeance. It's going to be a murder thriller revenge plot on a train.
Ooh.
I don't know if it's like happens in like 1940 or something, but it'll be a different setting from what he's ever written. So
Maybe I'll buddy read that with Ryan. My goal is to buddy read something with Ryan because this bitch still has not finished Fourth Wing.
he never
Is
will.
he like, is he working his way through it though, or he's just stopped reading it?
He hasn't touched it in forever. There's no way. He went back to his bland ass raisin bran nonfiction world.
Always.
Mr. Exciting. Let me stop hating. But really,
Ryan, if you're watching this.
Yeah, my goal is to buddy read something like, I feel like a mystery would be good for him. Like mystery, thriller, horror.
Yeah.
Something where,
something that keeps his attention, like it's fast paced, where he's like, oh, maybe I do like fiction books.
Yeah, and something shorter. Like, not that Fourth Wing is like ginormous, but definitely something like thinner, I think, is more his jam. So
let's see, another one. Okay, so I have another one that I'm bringing on from 2024 that I didn't read, which is The Will of the Many by James Islington. And the second book is coming out this year, supposedly, called Strength of the Few. So I'm hoping to read both of them this year. Hopefully, I get to them.
Yeah,
because I've heard like nothing but good things about the first one. So I really want to read it.
And that one's just high fantasy, right? Or no?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it except that you talked about it, and then I had it on Libby, and then my hold expired. I think like 2 hours ago, actually. I had it recently. I was like, I'm gonna read this book. I didn't. One of my anticipated reads has to do with a book that I loved last year, and I loved Welcome to the Hyunamdong Bookshop so much that I'm like, and I already knew that I really liked like cozy stories, but I've seen people kind of like call this like healing fiction, and I think I love that. And so I saw there's a book called The Rainfall Market by Yu Young Gwang. I think it's another South Korean author that it's getting translated. It comes out this month on the 21st, and I'm like, it just sounds amazing. The Rainfall Market, please sign me up. So I'm very excited for that book. I don't actually know anything else about it, but that it's like cozy.
Healing fiction. I love that.
It sounds so interesting and I want to read it, but I just feel like when I start it, I'm going to be so bored and I'm never going to finish the book.
But I think you just read fantasy so much that like you always are looking for like implements of that in plots. And so when it doesn't happen, it's like you're tricking yourself into thinking that it's boring when really it's just not what you're used to.
Ah, interesting. Yeah.
That's a good point. And these are also like not plot driven. There's really no plot. It's more like about the characters and what they're learning about like life and their feelings and just being as a person, you know?
Yeah, I do like character driven books.
I know that you've been talking about the Hyunamdong Bookshop series because I think they're making like a few different versions of it. Like Carrie said in our last episode, there was like a laundromat and stuff like that where it's taking on the same as the save the cat thing or whatever, right?
That same genre, that feel.
I feel like it's getting kind of big on Book Talk for while we have it still. So yeah, I think that the Save the Cat one, the Japanese and the Korean kind of like feel good little short stories.
Yeah.
That's going to be my vibe this year as well, I think. We're just all over the place. Western
cowboys,
Gators.
Australian gators, and healing.
Another author that I've been wanting to read but haven't been able to get to any of his works, but he's coming out with a new book this year called Grave Empire. And I also have not read what it's about, but the book box that I follow is doing a special edition, which I already ordered. And the pictures were giving like Atlantis vibes, like underwater people versus pirates type thing. And it
Ooh,
looked
and
good.
I
Like
love Atlantis.
they have like sharks that are like armored up, and they have like spears. You know, it was giving like Wakanda Forever. You know, when
Yeah,
yeah,
Mhm.
like that type of vibe. So
that meets like Aquaman.
yeah, just from the artwork that's gonna be in the book that I ordered, that's the vibe I got. So I was like, okay, I want to read this, but I haven't read what it's about.
That's okay. I'm sold.
I kind of another thing I want to do this year is read more books without knowing what they're about.
Going in blind.
Yeah, going in blind, and not reading any synopsis or watching any reviews, because I feel like I do that a lot. I like watch a lot of reviews, and that's how I pick what books I want to read.
But then sometimes it can like hype the book up too much.
Right. Yeah,
Mhm.
and then I end up not enjoying it, or I won't read a book that I might enjoy because I saw someone else didn't enjoy it.
Relying too much on the opinions of others.
Yeah.
I feel that though. It's like it's hard to separate that sometimes, especially if you have like a specific booktuber or book reviewer that's like
Yeah.
very
Mhm.
trusted to you and they put their own opinion on a book and it kind of ruins it. So, but it's okay. 2025, new you.
Yes.
Okay, what else am I so excited about? Well, of course, Ashley Winstead is also coming out with another book. This book will bury me.
Anna.
Yeah, Anna! Not Anna Winstead.
Wait, Ashley Winstead? Is that who I think it is?
Yeah, with the housewife, the last
The
Yeah,
last
yeah.
housewife. Yeah.
That's what I thought. But
Yeah.
I didn't want to sound stupid.
At least you didn't call her Anna.
Anna, my girl.
And,
Yeah, I don't know what this is about, but I'm gonna read it. I hope.
Ugh, I want another cult book from her.
I know. Maybe this will be a cult book, maybe. I don't know. Should I read the synopsis? But maybe I don't want to. We should go in blind.
Blind bat that shit.
Yeah. Also, guys, do you guys know how many of your anticipated reads from last year's video that you actually read?
I can tell you for sure that I read at least 2.
Same.
Because I know I had lessons in chemistry on there. Read that. I had that Rosie Dannon book that I thought was a shapeshifter werewolf situation. Totally was not, by the way.
Okay, we're all kind of on the same page because I also only read 2 of my anticipated reads from last year.
Yeah, I read the 2 Stormlight Archive books, and then I read Blood Over Brighthaven. I think that was on my list.
Wow, so you read 3 of
I read
yours.
3, yeah.
Fancy.
It was on my list, I don't remember. Because I don't remember if it was that one or if it was Sword of Kaigen. I don't remember which one I talked about.
I want to finish that book, guys. I'm gonna finish it.
Yeah, your accidental DNF.
Guys, it's terrible. I'm pretty sure I got like 40% of the way through that book, and it was good. It's not that I didn't like it. It's just that I started reading other books, and then I never went back to that.
And that is Rose's toxic trait.
It is toxic, guys. I'm gonna stop this year, maybe.
I wonder what is my bookish like toxic trait. Do you guys have one for me? What's my bookish toxic trait? Oh, maybe that I expect a kiss in every book. That's probably
That is
my
toxic. Not you wanting a kiss in extreme horror. Yeah. It's a book about trauma.
Wait, what about me?
You only read Brandon Sanderson.
Yeah, I think it's what I explained earlier, where it's like you take some of your fantasy expectations and bring that into other genres.
It's just fantasy. It's just so good.
It is, but they're There are other genres that are great for their own reasons, different from the fantastical realm. All right, Rose, what are your top 5 books of this year?
Okay, I'll start from number 5. In the Tall Trees by Angel in Van Atta. This book, I think it's just an indie published book, but I don't know if it's a horror or a thriller. It's horrifying. It's literally in the perspective of a little girl. I'm pretty sure she's 6. So the way it's written, it's like as if a 6-year-old was talking. And this little girl is growing up in this small little house out in the middle of the woods, and she's thinking, "Oh, this is normal. Like my mom is chained up. We're stuck here. My dad comes to visit sometimes, but really this guy like is chaining them up and like kidnap them. And they have to escape, and it is just so sad and heartbreaking, and I cried.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. And it's so sad because it's like that really does happen. Men are actually this terrible. Number 4, I think I just like this theme now, and I hope there's more books that are written this way, is Incidents Around the House by Josh Mallerman, which is another book in the perspective of a child. It's I think she's 8 though, and other mommy who is still haunting my nightmares.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 3, which I heard that Carlos gave this book a average rating. We Used to Live Here.
Wait, you didn't read? Oh, wait, these are I forgot
These
you
are
what you
my
were talking about.
favorites. Yeah. We Used to Live Here by Marcus Clear.
You liked it that much? Wait, what did I give it?
I gave this book a 5-star. I love this book.
I mean, it was good.
Did you decode like the Morse code
Oh no,
throughout?
I didn't do that.
You have to be in the story. You have to like throughout. You have to translate the Morse code, and
What?
it's so good. Lauren, I think you would like it.
Yeah, I didn't look into all that.
Oh, it's so good.
It just wasn't my favorite like horror book that I've read.
No, it was fantastic. I think you need to reread it
And do the Morse code.
and like it more.
I'll read the Morse code. See if it changes my opinion.
I feel like it's not now.
Why?
I don't know. I'm scared. Anyways, moving on. Number 2, Blood Over Brighthaven.
Yeah.
It is my number 2 favorite book of the year. It is just perfect, and I love it. And my number 1 is the book that I will never stop talking about, is Welcome to the Hyunamdong Bookshop.
Yep.
I love that book. I want that book tattooed like in my veins, you know?
Yes, I do know.
Okay.
Okay, so number 5, which I think I talked about all these books in the episode we did with Carrie, but Calamity was my number 5, which is the one book that I said that made me cry.
Mhm.
It's the 3rd book in the Steelheart series. That's good. That's gonna be my number 5. It was so good. Number 4, I have The Last Housewife, which I'm actually yeah. I was like, wait, this is my top 5.
Oh my gosh. I don't
Yeah, it was so
know.
good.
I know. I'll cry.
And I mean, I just love the cult aspect of it. I don't know, it was just so good.
So good.
Number 3, I have Blood Over Brighthaven. Of course, loved
Valid.
it. Want to read more by her. I hope she writes another book soon.
Me too.
And then my number 2 and my number 1 are, of course, Stormlight Archive. Number 2 is Oathbringer, which is the 3rd book, and number 1 was Words of Radiance, which is the 2nd book, which I think might be like literally my favorite book ever.
Wow.
Yeah, Words of Radiance it was so good. I kind of want to reread it, but it's too long.
That's like 1,200 pages?
Yeah, just about, I think. But it's good. It's so good. You guys, oh, I have a goal for you guys. You guys need to finish the Mistborn trilogy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
It's
okay.
doable.
You're right. And that's another book that I started and didn't finish last year.
Aye.
I'll finish it.
All right. For me, my number 5 is also one that I talked about in the awards last episode with Carrie. House of Frank by Kay Sinclair. 5 stars.
Good grief.
Oh, yes, my Good Grief Award. So good. So good. My second book, I would say, it's so hard to choose which of the Rebel Blue Ranch books. I gave all of them 5 stars. I would say my number 4 will be Wild and Wrangled. That's the
Mhm.
4th one. It's not out yet. I got an arc for it, and it just blew my mind. What else? Number 3, The Rose Bargain by
Ooh.
Sasha
Mm.
Payton Smith. I
Mhm.
cannot wait for the second book, you guys. Cannot wait. Oh, it was so good.
Is that a YA?
Yes. Uh-huh. Yep. YA. My number dose is gonna be, where'd it go? Brightness Between Us, Elliot Schrafer.
Oh, beautiful. I will read that
Oh,
this year, I hope.
yes, it was so good.
I still have not moved from where I left off like 2 months ago.
It gets so crazy. And then last but not least, a book that kind of like took me by surprise. The Spirit Collection of Thorn Hall,
Ooh.
by J. Ann Thomas. This one was kind of like not really like horror. It was definitely like a mystery with just like kind of creepy vibes to it.
Mhm.
It was super slow, but it was so good. Like the story and everything about it, I read it without reading the synopsis. So I think that's why I thought it was kind of slow, because after reading the synopsis I was like, "Oh, okay." Um but still, it was when it really picked up, I was like,
Mhm.
"Okay, all right." So, yeah, very very
And it's
good.
not out yet.
Yeah, it's not out yet. Yep, it was
Oh,
an
yeah,
arc.
she is an art girly.
Yeah, she the main character is basically like stuck in this house that has all these spirits that live in it, but um they're not like Casper the Friendly Ghost type spirits. They're all like decaying and like
Mm.
skeletal, and their flesh is all coming off, and she can still touch them. Like there's a little boy that really likes her, and whenever he sits on her lap, she can like feel his mushy skin, and like he drowned, so she always gets like wet whenever he's like on her.
Mm.
Aw.
And yeah, it's very like unsettling, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, she's like trying to lift this curse of like being stuck in this house and being tethered to these spirits, because her family bloodline like is tethered to the spirits in the house. So,
Wow, I'm kinda interested. It's giving very Haunted Mansion, and I love Haunted
yes,
Mansion.
Mm.
yes, it was very Haunted Mansion, but make it not for kids.
Mhm.
And there is like a little bit of a B plot romance to it as well. Yeah, it was just really good, and it really surprised me. So, yeah, that's my top 5 this year.
Beautiful. I'm gonna put that one on my list.
I do have a goal outside of reading that has to do with my other hobby, which is video games.
Okay.
Okay, so as you guys know, Marvel Rivals came out recently. I don't know if you
Mhm.
guys have heard of it, but it like has taken the gaming nation by surprise with how successful it's been. Um, but with competitive games, there's always ranks, right? So
Mhm.
there's bronze, silver, gold, plat, diamond, and then it goes into like whatever ranks. I play a lot of competitive games, but I've never been able to make it past diamond.
Ooh,
Mhm.
okay.
But with season 0 of Marvel Rivals, which was only like a month and 2 weeks, I finally made it to Grandmaster, which is the rank above Diamond.
Okay,
And
Wow!
yeah, and
Grandmaster.
season 1 just started, which is going to be a whole 3 months long. And my goal is to make it to the rank above Grandmaster, which is Celestial.
Mhm.
So that's going to be my goal for at least the first season of Marvel Rivals, and then
Mhm.
maybe I'll make it higher. But if I stay in Celestial, like I'll be happy being a Celestial player because I've never made it above Diamond in any other game.
I'm gonna have to refer to you as Grandmaster Carlos, and then when you reach Celestial Carlos.
Celestial
Stop.
Carlos.
I'll literally just have you on in the background while I'm like getting ready for work, and I'm like, oh, Carlos.
Yeah, I feel like I become another person when I'm playing video games.
Yeah, you do. It's so funny. It's so funny. Jeff, where are you? I'm so bad. Wait, am I good?
Wait, I'm kind of. Why am I kind of good?
Why am I kind of good?
I love it.
I'll add a little addition. I am going to try to continue book journaling this year.
Oh,
So
Okay.
last year I started and I didn't get very far. This year I started and I've gotten farther than I did last year. So
Okay.
I'll give you a little tour. This might be hard because I have to hold my microphone. But here's my goal page.
Cute. Okay.
Yes, it has my goals. It has my 50 books on here that I want to read. I have a little bingo page.
oh, that's cool.
These are like my
Mm.
TBR reads,
Mhm.
but also the movies I watch every month. So it's like not books related,
Ooh.
but the movies and
Okay.
TV shows that I watch.
Wait, that's
Cute.
fun.
Yeah, check in with me, guys, to see if I really stick to it. But I hope I do. I've already put in the 3 books I've read already this year, and I put in my little reviews. So, and I put in my 3 movie reviews in too. I've watched 3 movies this year so far. So,
I
what
don't
about
have
you?
anything. What I really want to do is like travel to other countries, like while
Okay,
we're
there you
in
go.
Asia, like Thailand, Vietnam.
Oh, okay.
I guess that'll kind of
That's
be like,
fun.
yeah, my little side quest is
Yeah.
traveling, paying for experiences rather than material things. Yeah.
I think that's a good goal.
That
Yeah.
is a good goal.
We'll make it another year on Control Yourself.
Yes.
Yes.
Wait, show everyone what you're wearing.
Guys, our merch.
Oh,
We got some lackadaisical
lackadaisical.
merch, and then yeah, we've got some others that I'll put the link in here in the video. Yeah, just some super cute stuff. I literally have like 3 of our merch items now. Oh, we could talk about the smut episode with Christian.
Wait, that's happening?
Are we doing Pounded by Produce? He
Oh
agreed
yeah.
to that?
He's scared but
Oh,
willing.
that's so funny.
I want it to be a Valentine's Day release or like somewhere along those lines.
That
just
is so
because
funny.
I know. And it's supposed to be released on Valentine's Day.
Please.
That is in the works. But yeah, we've got some really special stuff up our sleeve for you guys. Not going to disclose too much, but we're excited. We've got some really incredible guests, like one that I don't know if I'm going to be able to talk to them and not be freaking out.
That's crazy.
It's going to be a fucking wild year. Like, and I will get mushy for like 2 seconds, but I, on our 2-year anniversary, just want to say that I'm so proud of us. Like,
Me
we are just
too.
so
Yeah.
we had an idea for what this podcast was going to be, and I think we've just blown it out of the water with expectations and just how much fun it actually is. And yeah, I'm so proud of us, and I'm so happy that this is something that I can share with you guys from so far away still. And yeah, I love us.
Me too. I also
Love
love
us.
us and I love you guys and I love the podcast.
That's it for our 2025 hopefuls. Here's to hoping that this year is a good reading year for all of us. Be kind to yourselves. If you don't reach a goal, it's okay. That's why they're goals, not like, anything crazy. You can find me on Instagram at Lauren H. Writes and on YouTube under Read Anything Good.
And you can find me on Instagram at Kingsdom of Books and on Twitch at Carlos Kings.
And you can find me on Instagram and YouTube at Flower Reads a Lot, and our podcast, Control Your Shelf, anywhere you get your podcasts. Watch our YouTubes, we're funny.
We're super funny, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to us if you watch us or if you listen to us. Follow us on Spotify, all that jazz, because it really does help. And check out our merch if you want to wear some cute stuff. And people are going to be like, oh my God, what is that? That's so cute. And you're going to be like, oh, it's just my favorite book besties. You know, no biggie.
No biggie.
Oh my God. There was a gator. I've got to go get it.
I was scared. I was actually scared. I thought something happened to your dog.
Oh my God.
It's my gator. I gotta go get him.
He got you.